Okay, let's start. Today we have navigating the oceans on page 126 in your book. And it means, let's start. The objective, who's going to read, please raise your hand once you want to talk. I think that I muted you, right? I will remove the mute option, but please. No, I didn't mute you. You can talk whenever you want. Fine. Please don't make noise. When you want to talk, you can unmute yourself. When you don't want to talk, mute yourself, please. We don't want to make noise here. Who's going to read the objective? Whom do we have here? Ola, please.
Okay. Grasp the concept of the text navigation the oceans.
Okay. Number 2.
Answer questions as students read the dialogue on navigating the oceans aloud.
Okay. Let's go on. First, let's remember, what do we have here? What is astronomy? Who is going to remind me what is astronomy? Let's see who's raising his or her hand to tell me what astronomy is. Other than Ola, others you don't remember? Okay, Munir.
Astronomy, it is a scientist.
Okay, it's a science. Good, Munir. Of studying what? What does the science study?
Everything outside
No.
of the earth.
Okay, yes, best. Yes. Let's see here the definition. It's a science that studies everything outside of the Earth's atmosphere, such as planets, stars, galaxies. Fine. It's about science, and as I told you before, it's not about prediction. Now, astronomers examine the positions, motions, and properties of the celestial objects. What are the celestial objects? Those are the planets, the stars, and the galaxies, and the sun as well. Here you are, the solar system, and everything in this solar system, anything outside the Earth is studied by the astronomers. Okay. Which people were concerned with astronomy? Do you remember which people were concerned with astronomy? We mentioned two periods of time, and the people that time were concerned with astronomy. Which people? Who remembers? Let's see. Who's raising his or her hand to tell me who was
Babylonians.
Astronomy? Hamad, speak please.
Babylonians.
Yes, Babylonians. Good. And whom else? Ola?
Ancient.
Ancient what?
Ancient people.
Okay, the ancient people. Which ancient people? Let's see. We have the Babylonians. You remember? I told you those are people who lived in Mesopotamia, which is Iraq nowadays. They were concerned with astronomy. The Vikings, you know the Vikings? Those are the Vikings in the picture in the background. Vikings. They were also concerned with astronomy. Egyptians, or the ancient Egyptians, and the Romans, and the Greeks. Ala, summarize all of this in one word. The ancient people, yes, all of those people were concerned with astronomy? Vikings, Egyptians, Romans, Greek, and Babylonians. And the Bronze Age Europeans, which we studied, whom we studied about the previous, not the previous session. I don't know how many sessions before. Those are the people who lived in Europe many years ago. Okay, we are still revising. Let's see what we are going to study for today. Why? Why did people? Why were people concerned with astronomy? Who's going to read this? I have this. I can't read here. Who's going to read the question, please? Ola?
Why did people use astronomy?
Okay, why did people use astronomy? Tell me, why did people use astronomy? Who's going to give me an answer? Why did people use astronomy, the science of the object outside the body, outside the earth? Sorry. Ahmed?
To see the planets in place.
They use astronomy to see the planets, maybe. Another answer. Who have an answer? Why did people use astronomy? Why did people use the science of the sun, the stars? We are talking about science and not prediction. So don't tell me that they use it for predicting the weather, for example. It's not correct. Sadine or Syrian?
تتوقع الأحداث اللي هتصير.
Okay, I told you, Syrian. If you say predicting or expecting or whatever or forecast, it's not accepted. It's not astronomy. What is it? Which section is it? Predicting. It's not astronomy. It has another name, if you remember.
Astrology.
Yes, it's astrology. Astronomy is the science. Astrology is about predicting all of these. So here we are talking about astronomy and not astrology. Let's see what I brought for you. They use this for farming. They use the astronomy for farming. How for farming? They know that this is this season, and this season they can grow the crops. In this season they can remove the crops. In this season the crops are ripe enough. This way. Here, identifying directions for knowing the direction, navigation. To know what directions. Tell me or mention the 4 directions. We all know who's going to mention the directions. Ahmed.
Right, left, behind.
Okay, but we don't use such directions when we are navigating in the ocean or we are moving by the airplane. Other directions. East.
Oh.
Ola.
East, west.
Yes.
والشمال والجنوب نسيت.
In English.
ما أعرفهم.
Okay. Salam.
North, south.
Okay, that's it. So they use the astronomy for identifying directions for navigation. Also, they use the astronomy for timekeeping, for knowing the time. What time is it? What time? What day time is it? For example, it's 12 p.m. How did they know that it's 12 p.m.? Using what? Do you know? Yes. How to know that it's 12 p.m.? How do you know? Hamad Matar.
Maybe time with another season.
No, we are talking not here about months and years. Here we are talking about daytime. It's 1 p.m. It's 2 p.m. It's 6 p.m. You can sometimes you can guess what time is it. How? Yara.
بس استخرجوا الفصول الأربعة.
No. Here, seasons, you're talking about farming. But we are talking here, timekeeping. We are talking about daytime, the time of the day. It's 12 p.m. It's 1 p.m. It's now it's 9 a.m. How did people know the time before having a clock or before having mobile phones to tell them about the time? Salam.
بس بتشوفش. يا أحكام.
Who?
The sun, the moon.
We have Salam. Salam, please.
By looking to the moon and the sun.
Okay, let's say the sun. The sun. By looking at the sun, they can know the time. And at night, by looking at the moon, but the moon doesn't tell you about the specific time, but the sun and the sun movement tells you about the specific time. Okay, this way, timekeeping. And here we have religious and spiritual practices. For example, here, Muslim people, how do they use astronomy for their religious practice? Give me an example. How do Muslim people use the astronomy for religious practice? I think that I have a new participant who joined us now. I need to write your name. Who have just joined us? Please give me your name before going on.
مش أنا صالح، مش أنا فصلت الغلط ورجعت صوت.
Okay, Salih. Okay, no problem. Good. Fine. Yeah, tell me. What Muslims or how Muslims use the astronomy? Yara?
Miss Ramadan.
Yes, very good. Here, Muslims use the astronomy, they use the moon movement. When they know that the moon is in such a shape, they know about the moon month. Which moon month is special for us as Muslims? It's what? It's Ramadan month. In this way, in Ramadan, we start practicing our religious practice, which is, what do we do in Ramadan? In English. Salam. Salam.
Siyam.
In English. Munir.
Well, I want to say praying.
Okay, we pray all the time, not only in Ramadan, but it's about in Ramadan, what do? We practice fasting. Fasting in Arabic, it's fasting. Okay, so here, as I told you, Muslim people use the astronomy for religious and spiritual practices, and other religions, in Christian religion, Jewish religion, they use the moon and the sun for other religious and spiritual practices. It's not only about the Muslims. All of the different religions use astronomy. Let's continue. Now, what components of astronomy? Wait, I need to remove this. Okay. What components of astronomy were used for such purposes? What did they use? Which components of astronomy? What are the components of astronomy at the beginning? What are the components of astronomy?
Telescope mass of the camera.
Yes. What did you say?
Telescope.
No, not how did they know about the astronomy? Components of astronomy, the things involved in astronomy. Not about the machine, things involved in astronomy. Munir? Okay, let's see. What are the components? Salam?
Planets, galaxies, and
Yes. Okay. Do they use all these planets and galaxies for astronomy? We have to be more specific. For astronomy, for knowing the directions, for knowing the time, for knowing about the farming, we have specific components of astronomy. Let's see what they are. We have the North Star. Do you remember the North Star from the lesson? Previous lesson about astronomy and astrology, North Star, and the sun. These are the main components of astronomy that people use for knowing the directions, the daytime, and about the farming, the North Star and the sun. all, we are going to talk about the North Star. Before going on, tell me what information do you know about the North Star? What do you remember? Who can tell me about the North Star? Hamad, Matar.
It help نعرف الدايركشن.
Okay, which direction does it give all the time?
North.
أو السيزون change
It's about
season.
direction. It's okay, Muhammad. It's about direction. Which direction does it give all the time? It gives a specific direction. What is it? From its name, you can know what the direction is.
North.
No, yes, it's the north direction. It always gives us the north direction. When you know the north direction, you can easily know the other directions. If you know the north, you can easily know the south. When you know the south, you can know the east and the west direction. In this way, the compass, for example, the compass tells you about the north direction. If you know the north, you are going to know the other directions. Baha, what do you have?
بس صوتك كثير عم بقطش مش عم بفهم شيء يعني.
You may be having a problem in the internet, Baha. The problem is not from me.
بس لا كمان عندك، بس كمان عندي هيك.
Girls, Ola, is my voice not going
لا
correctly?
واضح.
Okay, it's clear. So the problem is in the internet, guys. It's not from my computer, laptop, or from my internet. Check the internet, please. I'm sorry. If you, no problem. If you can't hear my voice well, you can see what I'm publishing here and what I'm sharing with you, and I will be resharing with you this session. No problem. Nothing will go away. Now, the North Star. This star is not a moving star. All the stars move, but the North Star has a specific place. It doesn't change it. Here you are, the North Star. It's bright. It's a very bright star. If you look at the sky, you can know where the North Star is because it's very bright star and it doesn't move as the other stars. The North Star is found at the end of the Big Dipper stars constellation and at the beginning of the Little Dipper. Here, you see, here's the North Star. At the end of the Big Dipper, here, and at the beginning of the Little Dipper, this part, it's located here, the North Star. This is the Little Dipper, and here the North Star at its beginning. Do you remember the Big Dipper and Little Dipper? What are they? What do we call them? Who's going to tell me? We are just remembering.
نجم القطبي.
North Star, yes, that's what you said. But what about the Little Dipper and the Big Dipper? What are they? You remember? Stars groupings, and they are called constellations. Okay, it's always located over the North Pole. I told you it has a specific direction which it doesn't change. Here you are the North Star, and here the North Pole. What does it mean, the North Pole, Muhammad? What does it mean? You have said this before.
النجم القطبي.
Okay, the star is the North Star. Here, the North Pole, it's what? In Arabic. Where is the North Pole in Arabic? No answer. Okay, search for it. Muhammad Matar.
القطب الجنوبي.
Yes,
عفوا
that's it.
القطب الشمالي.
Yes, that's it. The North Pole, and always the North Star is located above it, over it. Fine. It's used for locating the north direction at night. Sure, you can't use this star during the day because there are no stars during the day, but it's used to locate the directions at night. Knowing the north direction, how does it help? It gives you only one direction. How does it help you? Knowing the north direction, navigators could know the other directions easily. If you know the north, I told you, north, you can easily know the south. If you know the south, you can easily know the east and as well as the west. In this way, so knowing one direction, you are going to know the other direction. So here, the North Star helps you know the directions, which time of the day or night. Night, sure. So during the day, you can't use it. What can you use it during the day for knowing the directions and for knowing the time? What can you use, Hamad?
The sun.
Okay.
الصن أو
Yes.
البوصلة.
Yes,
The
the-
sun.
Yes, the
كومباس.
sun. Up
كومباس.
till now, we don't have compass. We are talking about what did they use
Sun.
some time ago. Nowadays, we don't use the North Star. We can use something much easier. What is it? What can you use nowadays?
بوصلة اللي عملوه
If you are going to a place in Beirut which you don't know where
اللي
where
كان
is
الطريق.
From the telephone.
Yes, you can use the mobile phone. What program? The
Map.
the Google Map. The
GPS?
GPS. The GPS. It's called
GPS.
It tells you about the direction. It tells you where to go and whatever to do. But all time ago, they didn't have all of these. They also didn't have a compass as well. So they used the North Star during the night, and during the day they use what?
The sun.
The sun. Let's see now the sun. The sundial machine is used for telling the time of day by the position of the sun. They use something like the clock you have at home. They use something like the clock, but it's somehow different and it's much difficult to be used. Here you are the sundial. It's called the sundial machine. They believe that the Vikings invented this machine and used it.
مش عاوز أطلع. شوف هاي خطة
Okay. Hisham, what did you say?
شو؟
Hisham, what did you say? Okay, fine. Let's see. Here the sundial machine, it tells you about the times of the day. How does it work? Let's see how it works. This sundial has 4 lines marking the times of the day. For example, at 12 p.m., the sun is at its highest point. When it's 12 p.m., the sun is at the highest point over the earth. In this way, how do they know that the sun is now at the highest point? What is the way? How do you know about the sun and where it is located right now?
بس بالأي أم بي أم هيك يعني.
No. Hola.
From the line 2.
No. Adil, who have an answer? You can easily know this. If you are moving on the street and you are looking at something moving with you, you can know what time of day it is.
من جهة الجبال بتكون من الشرق ما بتشرق الشمس.
Maybe. Fine. Okay. The sun right rose. Fine.
إيه بس أنا عرفت.
What do you have?
بس لما تكون الشمس بنص السماء إنه بتكون الظل إنه.
Yes, you are excellent. In English, what is it?
دوب مبين الظل يعني.
Yes. What is it in English?
shadow.
Yes, you are excellent. It's about the shadow. It depends on the shadow. Here you are. Look at this. The sun here is located in a certain location. In this way, when, for example, the shadow is given like this here, they would know that time now is 11 a.m. For example. For example, if the shadow moves right here, it's 12 p.m. If the shadow moves here, it's 2. If the shadow moves here, it's 5. So they depend on the shadow of this. Do you see this? This one. This one. The sun will reflect its sunlight over it, and the shadow will be reflected on this machine. As the position of the shadow is located, we know the time of the day. Okay, this is the oldest clock ever. This is called the sundial. We have to move quicker. We are missing the time. This is determined through the shadow on the sundial. Number 3 here. What do we have? Fun. What about if the weather is foggy? Look at the background. It's foggy. We have fog. So the sunlight is not clear. What to do? Can you use the sundial if the weather is foggy?
No.
Okay, sure not, because we don't have clear sunlight. What to use instead? They studied all the possibilities, all the problems. So what did they use? If the weather is foggy, ancient people used the sunstones. They use sunstones. What are they about? These are the sunstones. They use this for what? What do you think? Let's see. They change their color and brightness when exposed to angles of sunlight. Even if the sunlight is very dim, is very weak sunlight, when the weather is foggy, they can change their color according to this weak sunlight. The light of the day, it's enough for them. The light of the day is enough for them to give you the time. It's not important to have a strong sunlight to know the time.
صوتك عم بقطش.
For having the time of the day. Yes, what did you say? Let's see here.
الصوت عم بقطش.
You have a problem in your internet. Now, they change their color and brightness when exposed to angles of sunlight. See here, they change their color because of having certain sunlight of the during certain time of the day. This way, the direction of the sun can be located. You can locate the direction of the sun from the color, from the shape, from all of these guarding the sunstones. They use sunstones when the weather is foggy. They use this to know where the sun is. If you know where the sun is, you can know what time it is. So here we have 3 ways for navigating, for knowing the direction, for knowing the time. Who can remind us of them quickly, please?
الصوت عم بقطش.
Michelle, please. It's not, the problem is not from my laptop or from my internet. You have a problem in your internet. That's why. Your friends are not complaining. You are the only who is complaining, and Baha as well, I think. Yeah, who's going to remind us what the 3 ways of navigating are? Quickly, we don't have time. Ola?
Sunstones
Yes,
and sundial.
yes.
بس.
And number 1, at night, Salam.
North Star.
Okay, so they had 3 ways for navigating and for knowing the time. Now, let's see here. You are supposed to read the following questions and get their answers. Which questions? The questions on page 128 on your book. Who's going to read quickly, please? Other than Ola. Sadine.
Why is it's better to use a North Star for the navigation than other stars?
Okay, quickly, do you have an answer? Why is better to use North Star, not the other stars? There is a reason, important reason.
Since it's not move.
Yes, very good. The other stars move all the time. The North Star, we can say that it's safe. How? Number 2, continue, Sadine.
How can you navigate without a compass during the day when no stars are visible?
Okay, how can you navigate without a compass? We don't have compass during the day when no stars are visible. What to use during the day? It's easy. What you say? Muhammad.
sun.
Yes, the sun.
Sunshine.
Sun.
Number 3.
مس أنا
How does a sundial work?
How does a sundial work? I told you how it works. It depends on what? In one word.
And
What
3
are the-
and 4 lines.
And what? I think that Muhammad gave us the
It's
answer.
determined by the shadow.
Yes, the shadow. Very good. I'll read number 4. How did the ancient
How
people know how to navigate on cloudy days? When it's foggy, when it's cloudy, what did they use instead of the sun and the sundial?
sun?
By
Sun.
sun. By sun.
The sun, if it is day, if it is a bright sun, if it is sunny day. If it is cloudy day, they didn't use the sundial, they used the sunstone. Number 5, what did the researchers find about the Viking twilight compass? They have, Viking people had a special compass. How to know about this? To answer those questions correctly and completely, you have to read the dialogue navigating the oceans on pages 126, 128, and 129. I wanted to read the dialogue together during this session, but as usual, we don't have much time. So you are supposed to be reading those pages by yourself, and after reading, you can answer the question. Fine. I want to make sure of all the names. If I miss any name, please tell me before ending this session. Ola, Amar, Saleh, Maram, Khalil, Salam, Muhammad, Hamid, Muhammad Matar, Sukaina, Sadine, Yara, Muhammad Al-Khatib, Munir, Baha. Did I miss any of your names? Tell me now at once, please.
مس أنا
Whom?
هشام.
Hisham. Hisham, why did I forget you? I don't know. Fine. Anyone else? Okay. Thank you for listening. End of the lesson. Stay safe, please. And goodbye all.
Goodbye.